My Own Private India by Joel Stein. India. I am very much in favor of immigration everywhere in the US except Edison, New Jersey. The mostly white suburban town I left when I graduated from high school in 1989, the town that was called Menlo Park when Thomas Alva Edison set up shop there and was later renamed in his honor, has become home to one of the biggest Indian communities in the US, as familiar to people in India as how to instruct stupid Americans to reboot their internet routers. So corny. Off the bat, corny.
Standard issue corny.
Yeah, standard shit.
Thomas Edison overrated.
It's just... why are you talking about Thomas Edison? What does that have to do with it?
Come on, bro.
Okay, alright. Fuck Thomas Edison and Joel Stein. Okay, fine. Alright. My town is totally unfamiliar to me. The Pizza Hut, where my busboy friend stole pies for our drunken parties, is now an Indian sweet shop with a completely inappropriate roof. What does that even mean?
Pizza Hut roof?
Pizza in a hut! Already inappropriate. The A&P I shoplifted from is now an Indian grocery. The multiplex where we snuck into R-rated movies now shows only Bollywood films and serves samosas.
Why does he have to mention what food that is?
Because fuck Indian people. That's really between the lines. When I was a kid, a few engineers and doctors from Gujarat moved to Edison because of its proximity to AT&T, good schools, and reasonably priced, if slightly deteriorating post-World War II housing. For a while, we assumed all Indians were geniuses. Then, in the 1980s, the doctors and engineers brought over their merchant cousins, and we were no longer so sure about the genius thing. In the 1990s, the not as brilliant merchants brought their even less bright cousins, and we started to understand why India is so damn poor.
That's why. That's why India is poor. Because every successive generation was dumber.
That's
weird genetic.
It's not colonialism. It's not the fact that India is so overpopulated that there isn't none of that. Indians are stupid.
Indians are dumb and getting dumber.
Yeah.
Also, merchant. He's even using like fucking
colonial terms.
Merchant. What fucking year is this? What does she have to do? Oh, he's a merchant. Who the fuck would ever say that anyway?
Eventually, there were enough Indians in Edison to change the culture, at which point my townsfolk started calling the new Edisonians dotheads. Right, because they changed the culture. That's why they changed the culture, which is why white people were calling them dotheads.
The culture of apparently stealing from A&P.
One kid I knew in high school drove down an Indian dense street. That's just a fucking terrible racist. Full of... drove down an Indian dense street yelling for its residents to go home to India. In retrospect, I question just how good our schools were if dotheads was the best racist insult we could come up with for a group of people whose gods have multiple arms and an elephant nose. Oh shit, so much here to talk about.
Not all Indians are Hindus.
Yeah, not all Indians are Hindus, but who gives a shit because they're dotheads, right?
Yeah.
I like how he said a group of his friends did this, which is fucked at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, but he creates enough distance there, right, to say like his friends. But then he said, if the best insult we could come up with, so he is like,
you're facho.
Fuck
You're
off.
facho.
The best insult we could come up with as white people in Edison, we could come up with was dotheads.
Stein wrote. They went out.
What the? And also, what the fuck's an elephant nose? Do you mean that trunk?
Elephant nose.
A fucking trunk.
Elephant nose.
Trunk.
You're done, Joe. Killing your family.
We're killing his family. And also, historically, if you knew anything, there was a group with even a less clever name than Dotheads called Dot Busters, who used to go around beating the shit out of Indian people in New Jersey, which he completely left out of this article, but that's a meta. It's a downer to talk about hate crimes. We don't want Unlike some of my friends in the 1980s, I liked a lot of things about the way my town changed. Far better restaurants. Friends dorky enough to play Dungeons and Dragons with me. These are all dorks. Very good. Restaurant owners who didn't card us because all white people look old.
nuts because they knew that you were a kid, but they didn't give a fuck because you're not their kids, and they're just gonna make a bunch of money off some fucking asshole white kids, and you're gonna like get drunk at the place.
Correct.
Money and shit.
Right. But some, because they know afterwards you're gonna call them dotheads and beat up their each other. So, fuck them. But sometime after I left the town, became a maze of charmless Indian strip malls and housing developments.
Yeah, right. There are no strip malls except when Indian people show up, and then all these strip malls showed up. Fucking Jersey is full of strip malls.
The strip malls were glorious before the Indians.
There were all these wonderful strip malls. We could get Pizza Huts and Taco Bell, but now that the Indians showed up, there's all these Indian restaurants and Indian things. And that just ruins the charm of strip malls.
He's just basically like trying to write a lot for PU and gross.
Yeah. Whenever I go back, I feel what people in Arizona talk about, a sense of loss and enemy and disbelief that anyone can eat food that spicy.
It ends on a Tory joke and also him trying to be like poignant and like...
And it's racist!
And it's horribly
racist!
Actually, what people in Arizona talk about.
First of all, people in fucking Arizona have been eating spicy forever because Mexicans... Arizona used to be Mexico!
Right, what old culture in Arizona? It's just a bunch of old white people from the East Coast.
Right! Who like Mexican food but hate Mexicans!
All the white people in Arizona haven't been there that long. It's the fucking desert!
Look,
like Vegas can't exist in the future.
They like the food, they like the women, nothing else.
People that die, they'll get melanoma and die.
Good. Next point. To figure out why it bothered me so much, I talked to a friend of mine from high school, or you needed to figure out why, because you're not a racist. Am I a racist? I'm not sure if I'm a racist.
Tell me, my friend from high school, June Choi.
June Choi?
Convenient.
I had one Korean friend in high school. Let me ask him if I'm racist. Crazy. June Choi finished a term as mayor of Edison. That works pretty well. Choi said that part of what I don't like about the new Edison is a reduction of wealth, which probably would have been worse without the arrival of so many Indians, many of whom, fittingly for a town called Edison, are inventors and engineers. And no place is immune to change. You didn't know this before? Okay. In the 11 years I lived in Manhattan's Chelsea district, the area transformed from a place with gangs and hookers to a place with gays. A place with gays. I guess he left out the word swarming. I guess that's what he wanted to put. Swarming with gays and transvestite hookers to a place with artists and no hookers to a place with rich families, and I'm guessing mistresses who live a lot like hookers. Ooh, good one, Joe. As Choi pointed out, I was a participant in at least one of those changes. We left it at that because I didn't want him to call me a racist. I added that, that's not it. Unlike previous waves of immigrants who couldn't fly home or Skype with relatives, Edison's first generation didn't quite assimilate and give their kids Western names. Okay, that's stupid. But if you look at the current Facebook photos of students at any... That's so weird, he's in high school kids. But if you look at the current Facebook photos of students at my old high school, J.P. Stevens, a lot of the Indian kids look like Italian Guidos I grew up with in the 1980s. Gold chains, gelled hair, on button shirts, good. So make fun of the Italians when you're going to make fun of the Indians, so it's a bit more normalized, very nice. Spread it out. In fact, they are called Gwindians. Their assimilation is so wonderfully American that if the Statue of Liberty could shed a tear, she would, because of the amount of cologne they wear. Woo! And then he responded on Twitter after...
Oh, there was a big
uproar, you know, and lots of like blog entries and death threats and whatnot, and he made a joke about how like he was surprised to get all those things. On Twitter he made some comment about how he was surprised because there were people who came from like Gandhi that they would be so violent. Good, you ended that racism with another piece of racism.
He left that and couldn't fit a Gandhi line into the shit.
Right. So I couldn't get a Gandhi line. Oh great, they got all angry and shit. And another one.
And then he responded officially when it became, you know.
And then he responded formally, I truly feel stomach sick.
I truly feel stomach-sick. I truly feel stomach sick. I've never seen that. Fucking bitch.
You know, he's creating language, elephant noses and stomachs. That I hurt so many people, the death threats. That's what you're reading about. I was trying to explain how, as someone who believes that immigration has enriched American life in my hometown in particular, I was shocked that I could feel a tiny bit uncomfortable with my changing town when I went to visit it. If we could understand that reaction, we'd be better equipped to debate people on the other side of the immigration issue.
Such a refutation of everything that he wrote about and articulated in his stupid
It's hard to write that when you have the full article right before it.
Right.
It says the exact opposite of what he just said.